All right, you guys, we're ready. Good morning, everyone. We've got people from Japan. We've got Maine. We've got Philadelphia. We've got Georgia, Louisiana, Richmond, Los Angeles. You guys are dedicated. It's a Friday. Just put a little applause for yourself in the chat. Say yay, because you're dedicated to learning, to trying something new, to having fun on a Friday. Drop a yes in the chat if you're ready to celebrate yourself today. Hi, everyone. Okay, so real fast, let's get this out of the way. So there's always someone who's like, this is pre-recorded. Why do people always ask that? Do you know? It's because a lot of people lie and say that their trainings are live when they are not. Drop a yes if you've ever seen that. I'm happy to share. It is beautifully sunny in Minnesota today. I love looking out the window and seeing that. It is Friday, May 9th, and I am 2 to 3 minutes late because life happens. Drop a yes in the chat if you agree with me on this. Life actually does happen. So like taking the kids to school, getting them ready in the mornings, it can take a minute. I was like, am I even gonna have makeup in time for this one today? But either way, I was gonna be here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Who here was here yesterday? I know you guys can't see each other's comments, but I'm seeing them all. I love seeing the chat. The more you talk there, the more I talk back. So we're gonna have some fun. Who was here yesterday? I see a few people were here yesterday. Fantastic. Is it a different shirt? Yes. Okay, let's dive on in, you guys. This is going to be so good. Who here needs just a Minnetonka? Donka is from Minnetonka. We're neighbors, literally. We're in Wayzata. Shut up. That's so cool. We also knew that Zoom had issues yesterday. It wasn't letting people register, and that made me mad. So I was like, literally last night, I'm tired and everything. 7 p.m., I was like, I feel bad that some people didn't get to access this. So I was like, we're going to literally last minute put together an encore. So it's for you today. Let's celebrate that. Okay, should we dive on in? Drop a yes if you're excited. And then one thing I want you guys to do that's really helpful for me is if something clicks or connects in like a special way, a new way, if something finally makes sense or you're reminded of something that you forgot, can you please drop AHA in the chat? Because when you guys drop AHA, which is aha, like I love that. When you guys drop that, and can you test doing that real fast for me just so that you get comfortable doing that? When you guys do that, I get ramped up and excited and I start sharing more and I share new stories and stuff. It's really, really fun. So who here is totally new to me? You're like, I don't know who this person is, but this girl seems bubbly or weird or whatever. It just pulled you in for some reason. You're like, I want to be here. So a couple of fantastic things. Number one, I'm going to be doing a really fast pre-frame. Write that word down. So this is the same thing as yesterday, but I will be bringing probably new angles, new stories, because I don't actually follow any script. Isn't that kind of cool? So yeah, amazing. So a pre-frame, write that down, pre-frame. So many business owners and entrepreneurs put their content online as though everyone already knows who they are. Who's already getting the aha you needed? So what happens when we are constantly putting things out there and assuming that the world is a warm or a hot audience or knows who we are or what we do, we're actually missing people. So a pre-frame is an opportunity for you to share something in a way that helps people to understand who you are and why you are the way you are. Now, who here has seen this in my content when I share some little pre-frame in there? Like it might be something like, I'm Rachel Pedersen, I'm a social media strategist. Yes, my clients pay me 6 figures for strategy. Who's seen that before? Drop a yes if you've seen that. I could share that in every single piece of content and there would still be people who have no idea who I am. So a pre-frame is important because it gives you the opportunity to help people understand what lens they should view you with. Who got the aha right there? Yes, I know everyone can't see each other in the chat. I'm sorry, you guys. It's just what happened today. I couldn't let everyone see everyone because we couldn't register because we can't kick people out. Does that make sense? Sorry, guys. Okay, and you'll see why. Suzanne's here again. Yay. Let's dive on in. Let's do this. And let me make sure I can still see chat because I love seeing what you guys have to share. Okay, so let's dive on in. This is something I'm passionate about. You are in the right place if, drop a yes if any of these are true. Number one, you're sick of content feeling like a second full-time job. I don't know about you guys, but I know I'm busy. Do you have kids? Do you have pets? Pets are demanding too. Like content can secretly like sneak up and feel like a 40-hour-a-week job. Ask me how I know, right? Oh, it shouldn't feel that way. How should it feel? Fun, free, light, supported. Yes, please. If you have a business or you freelance for other businesses, drop a yes if this one is you. Amazing, amazing. You're willing to put in, and there's a key word here, leveraged work. I'm going to be talking a bit about some of the attitudes with content creation from experts and leaders that I can't stand. We're not going to bash anyone, but I'm just going to tell you a lot of the stuff out there is not leveraged, and it straight up is designed to basically make content creation a full-time job, let alone all the other parts of a business. Okay, and this is super important. You got to be kind. You got to be honest. You have to have an important goal or mission or passion for your business. Is this you? Please tell me yes. I'm just going to be super honest. I don't like people who are jerks. I was pretty bullied in middle school after being homeschooled. So when people are rude or that's N-E-G. Negging is when someone intentionally tears you down in order to gain a position of power by just making like nitpicking comments all the time. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? When people do that, we just kick them out. And that's true with our programs. We'll refund people who are just rude to others. Drop a yes if that's nice to know, like it's gonna be more safe. We're not gonna let people who are just like ripping others apart or dealing with ego. I don't have time for ego. I've been in this space for 11 years. And guess what? Ego is hard to maintain when you have kids. Okay. I'm Rachel Pedersen. Hi all. This is my devil dog, Boone. He is wild. I'm a social media strategist, I have an 8-figure business, which is so wild still. I do charge my clients a minimum of $100,000 or $22,000 a month to work with me. And we have a 100% success rate on those packages. I'm a chaos tested content machine. I've worked with some really, really, really cool clients like Dean Graciosi, drop a yes if you've heard of any of these, ClickFunnels, Danny Johnson, Lionsgate, and more. I've been featured in a lot of really cool places: Success Magazine, Business Insider, Forbes, Entrepreneur, Glamour, Cosmopolitan, etc. But my biggest passion is I love helping business owners turn content chaos and messes and confusion into content clarity and conversions. Okay, so just 3 years ago, everything fell apart. Drop a yes if you're like, I actually appreciate that we're talking about this, because it's a lot of the times people would say, Rachel, it's easy for you to create content because you have a successful business. You have a team. You have a platform already. Drop a yes if you're like, that actually has crossed my mind quite a bit. So this actually wasn't COVID related, which is wild. 3 years ago, I had a public breakdown online. 0 out of 10 recommend. At least there was popcorn and grippy socks. Okay, too soon. But what's wild is during this time, basically what I didn't know is I had been running my whole business as a high functioning person with bipolar type 1. The nice part about you guys not being able to see each other's comments is you can feel free to be like, I totally resonate with this, and no one else is going to see except for me. So I'm going through my business. I have this epic breakdown. I record hundreds of videos in the span of 2 days, and I end up having to take a month off of social. Anyone remember this? Drop a yes if this is you. You're like, I've seen it. I know what you're talking about. Okay, if you don't know, what's wild is when I came back from that month, everything was flatlined. People didn't want to talk to me, about me, with me. People felt nervous. People were nervous about my offers and commenting on my social. Like, you guys, there was crickets everywhere across the board. And so I'm sitting here with millions of followers, a massive email list, an entire suite of products, and nothing is moving. I was posting every day, still felt invisible. I was hustling for leads, for clients, for students, for all of the aboves, and it was still inconsistent. And I was honestly just exhausted. And drop a yes if this resonates with you. Content was the thing that was burning me out the most. I was so stressed. And then, of course, that creates cycles of shame and guilt. Can I get like a yaw? I am actually so grateful, you guys, that I went through this, because it is really easy for leaders and gurus and experts to lead as though they've forgotten how things used to be. Drop a yes in the chat if you're like, oh, wow, because that perspective, that feeling of having to experience it again recently, I actually journaled through the whole process and took tons of notes. And I was like, I'm going to figure this out, and then I want to share it with other people, because content shouldn't be running our lives. And now I'm experiencing it from the ground up again. I'm not here to give you another task. Yay! I'm actually here to give you your time back. Sound good? Yes, I love this. All right, so here's what you're gonna learn today. Drop a 1 if you're excited about this one. The exact system I use to batch 3 months of content in a single day. Side note, you guys, we figured the system out over the last 3 years. And now, today, we're pushing the limits beyond baseline. We'll talk about that in a moment. But we push the limits every single day. And between myself and my husband, Paul, we post between 100 and 120 pieces of content every single day. And we still have time for family, for our relationship, for binge watching Netflix, because that's a must, or even Hulu, for working out, for hobbies, and for a social life outside of business. Drop a yes if you're like, thank you for sharing that. Now, my husband, Paul, he's never done marketing before. So he gives himself a 0 out of 10 for like skills and knowledge and confidence and all of the above. And yet he is single-handedly literally posting my entire baseline in just like less than an hour a day. And that's a massive baseline. Pretty cool, right? Okay, number 2, and this is big. How to stay visible even when life or business gets messy. Drop a 2 if you're really excited about this one. I get excited about this because it always scares me when people act like life doesn't get messy. It does. It does. I'll never forget one time I was leading a training, and Dominic came up to me and I said, "What's that on your finger?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a booger." And I was like, "It's a booger? What?" And I was like, "Well, we got to put it in a tissue." And then he goes, "I'm going to put it back in my nose." I was like, "No, just put it in my hand." He puts it in my hand, and I finished the rest of the training with a booger solidly in my hand. Real life is not cut and dry and perfectly clean and systems all the time. So systems can set us up to actually stay visible and be successful even when you've got a booger in your hand. Cool? All right, number 3, why content actually gets easier when you stop starting from scratch. Drop a 3 if you're like, oh, I'm intrigued. I need this. Because the truth is you're probably working way harder than you need to. So these ahas are gonna literally, even just from the first part, second part, and third part of this training, gonna change everything for you. Cool? We're not going to do content for content's sake. We're going to do strategic content for sanity's sake. Can you all agree to this? You can always have fun with content, but sometimes when people say just post it, we create content that doesn't have a strategy or a plan or fit into anything. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Now, during that time, those 3 years, I nearly gave up because I was like, this is exhausting. I would have an idea, I'd write it out, take my time on it, make it really good, right? I would post it and nothing would happen. So I would feel this stress of what's going to finally work. And then I would step back and let my foot off the gas and experience guilt for ghosting my followers. Repeat, repeat, repeat. It becomes a worse and worse cycle. Drop a me in the chat if you're like, dude, this is totally what I've been going through. Waiting for inspiration. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't, and still no momentum. Okay, so what I thought would happen is that I would post and then I would grow, right? Because that's what happened the first time around. I'd be visible and I'd get clients. I'd stay consistent and I would feel confident, right? This is so good. I love this. I mean, this is what we all want. But what actually happened was a constant. It was like 24 hours a day, an obsession with content, and not in a healthy way. Decision fatigue. Who's sick of this one, by the way? Should I post this or should I post this? Should I wait to post this until I have like 5 warm days of good content? Yes. And I had zero breathing room. I felt like I had to do my hair and makeup every single day to always be ready for content, even though I was already stressed. Okay, key in on this right here. I wasn't flaky. I was unsupported. Drop aha in the chat if you're like, oh, that's a distinction. I didn't have this system that time developed. Thank goodness, right? You don't need more motivation. In fact, a lot of the people providing motivation for content creation are straight up telling you, go post 100, 200 pieces of content per day. Who's heard those insane numbers before? And you're like, I can't do that. I can barely get to 3 a day, let alone 1, okay? If your content strategy only works when you're inspired and well-rested and have a good hair day, that's not a strategy. That's a liability. Drop aha in the chat if this slide alone was like it for you. This clicks. Because a strategy needs to be foundational. You're not lazy. You're overloaded. Drop a yes in the chat if this is you. I see Robin and Keisha and Catalyst Tin Jueves. And Fraser, yeah. Michelle, amazing. Diane, yes. So my question for you is, what if content didn't feel like a daily decision of, do I feel inspired? Do I feel confident? Do I feel certain? Do I feel good about this? Do I feel like my hair looks nice? Would that change everything? Drop a yes. I'm just gonna give you a hint. It changed everything for me. I want you to imagine this feeling. So this is gonna be a reframing of how you see content, by imagining the end result of this feeling. Cool? I want you to literally imagine that you log into all of your accounts and you see 90 days of content scheduled out. How do you feel? Drop a word in the chat, because I'll tell you how it feels. It feels pretty dang good. It feels like there's margin. It feels like if a kid suddenly comes home with a stomach flu, it's not like everything shuts off the moment life happens. I love this. And not only that, but you have zero guilt about the days that you don't post extra. Ooh, right? Content creation doesn't need to be constant. It just needs to be compounded. It just needs to be compounded. So if I can show you the exact system that I use to create my entire baseline of foundational content, and question for you guys, I know you can't see each other's responses, so I'll read them. Who here sees my content pretty much every day? Or it takes over your Instagram feed? Or you see me on multiple platforms a day? I see, yep. Diane says, I do. Beth says, me. Irene says, me. Donka says, yes. Wow, you guys do, right? Okay, so here's the cool part. I'm not creating content every single day. Drop an aha in the chat if you're like, this actually sounds more doable than anything I've heard. If I can show you the exact system that gives you 90 days of content in one day, you get to pick whether it's 3 hours, 6 hours, or 10 hours that you invest, and that determines the volume for those 90 days. Would you finally believe content can feel easy? Would you guys believe it? Because I can show you the whole thing, but if you're not willing to believe it, then it's not gonna happen. All right, let's prove it. The right system doesn't just save time, it saves you. It saves your sanity, it saves your passion, it saves your creativity, and more. So if you believe that you won't need to hustle harder to get all your content done, you won't ghost your audience because you feel shame for not showing up, right? And you'll finally feel the support. It's like a foundation. It's like a really beautiful surface that you get to sit or stand or lay down on. And you'll finally be ready to get ahead. Drop a yes if you are like, I deserve this, because you deserve that system that works with your life, not against it. Isn't that so fun? Okay, clients, kids, launches, sick days. I didn't have more time. I had no extra time to give. And I had to figure something out that worked with my mental illness. I had to make sure that I wasn't sitting here trying to create content for 4, 5, 6 hours a day like a lot of people preach you need to do. I needed stability. So I built it for survival, and then it ended up, you guys, working better than any other system I have ever tried, which is so exciting. It matched my energy. It didn't require daily inspiration, and it gave me my brain back. I'll show you how it does that too. Okay. So before, what do I post? Panic, ghosting, consumed by content creation time. After, prepped and posted already. I don't even have to do it day of. A quarterly rhythm, showing up on autopilot, and I have balance and results. Drop a yes if you want to experience this after, and you're going to take notes today and implement. Promise me, you guys, I will never share anything with you that I haven't tested. And I mean extensively. I pressure test stuff. It worked during the hardest season of my life, which was actually the comeback. So I know it'll work for any season of yours. Cool? Now, here's what most people think the problem is. Drop a yes if you have experienced any of these. I just need more motivation or discipline. I just need to be more disciplined. Why can't I be disciplined? I need to try harder. Drop a yes if you've said any of these things in your head or to yourself or to someone else. I have to post more. I'm not consistent. I fall off every time. I just can't stick with it. The real issue isn't you guys. It's this. So imagine you've planned to cook dinner at home every night this week. Only instead of recognizing that you can use some ingredients multiple times, you buy all of the ingredients for each meal separately. Meaning you go to the grocery store each day and you buy a carton of eggs and a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk. And then the next day you do the same thing. That would be silly, right? That's what it is working without templates, working without a system, and no structure that adapts to your life and energy. Would going to the grocery store and buying all the ingredients from scratch be exhausting and expensive? Drop a yes in the chat if you're like, I'm seeing it. You're doing the same thing with your content. You are basically going to the grocery store and creating everything from scratch every time, and it's wasting you time, money, energy, excitement, passion, a will to even do this, right? Okay, so then we're like, okay, I'll try again Monday. Why can't I be consistent? I just need to get that discipline down, right? Content batching blocks are like stocking up at Costco, and the batching blocks never expire. Drop an aha in the chat. These have changed everything for me, and I have examples and everything. Let's get excited. So this is the very first block that I use, and these are called truth bombs. Okay, truth bombs. You can call it quotes if you want. I just like truth bombs because I just like that little, you know, like the little cherry bomb fireworks we had when we were young. We would always go to Wisconsin and get them illegally. And you would like throw them on the 4th of July, and they were like little cherry bombs. They'd create a little explosion. Just me. That's what I want each of these quotes to do. So that's why I call them truth bombs, things that provide an alternative solution, system, idea, etc. Okay, so I actually have every quarter, I put together my entire list of truth bombs for the next 90 days. In this one document, and I have multiple of these, there are over 1,300 truth bombs, all things that I've said or written or compiled and tweaked from my own quotes. Drop aha in the chat. Because for the longest time, I thought everyone was coming up with these brilliant little quotables as they went. Anyone else think that? No. Those plithy little one-liners or two-liners, you guys have seen them on my social. Guess what? I did write them or say them, but Paul's the one posting them. What? And some of them go viral. Who's getting the aha already? Is this a different way? a better way? It's okay if you have to keep taking notes. I'd rather you take notes than comment in the chat because this is big, right? But if you can, do both. Okay, beautiful. You guys are getting this, right? So truth bombs can be used on threads, on LinkedIn. They do amazing as LinkedIn posts. They can be used as Facebook posts on both your page and your profile, as quote graphics, as text on a reel or short. You can literally use them in so many different ways, any way you want to use them. You can put them together, mix and match. Oh, who's got it? Aha, right? But the cool part is they compound over time. So when people start to see these go out, just one a day, even one a day, 90 days at a time, right? They start to engage with them more and more. These are the things that have helped many of my clients and students who are brand new to having a following start to build traction. Drop an aha in the chat. Look at this, you guys. These are all so simple. And look at this one. Sometimes when you're a parent, you stay up too late because you just need an hour or two where your kids aren't awake. 3,800 likes. Truth bombs alone have increased our threads reach from like 40 to 50, maybe 60,000 a month max, to now we're reaching about 300,000 people just by doing these regularly. Drop aha in the chat if this is already making sense for you. Ha ha ha. I also use them in graphics. Ta-da! I use them over the B-roll of videos. And look at those views. Do you guys see that? It's so simple. I can just pull one from that bank anytime. It's a batching block. Because buying milk can create pudding and sauces and cereal and mac and cheese, so many things. So can truth bombs. When you have the right batching blocks, you can create multiple things with ease. You guys are getting it, right? Who's glad they made time for this today? Right? Okay, so number 2 is long form value. Now, these ones are ones that you don't have to craft as much because people don't. Oh, and by the way, you guys, there will be a Q&A at the end. So I will make sure to save your best questions because I'll answer as many questions as I can at the end. Cool. Long form value isn't something you have to do as often because people don't always want to read a long form novel on socials, but sometimes it's nice. These are all great for B2B, great for B2C, and then there's certain workarounds for a few industries that are e-commerce or brick and mortar. Okay, so this is what these look like. You can put them all in one doc or you can put them in individual docs. You guys, I don't reinvent the wheel every time you see one of those long form posts. We just create a remix of a pre-existing post and make sure it's up to date to keep it evergreen. Drop aha in the chat if this is clicking for you. So I literally have entire vaults of my long form value content, and I can attach a new picture, put a new hook at the beginning, add a new CTA or whatever, change out one story, and it's ready to go for 3 months from now. What? You can use them again and again and again. I've used some of them for years and didn't even realize that gold. Okay, so long form value can be used for blogs, emails, threads, LinkedIn posts, Facebook posts, long form captions, and so many more things. This is kind of exciting. You can use them for the outline for a podcast, or you can use them for an outline for a YouTube video. You can also expand upon them and turn it into a lead magnet. Who's getting the aha? Isn't this fun? I love systems. Okay, and these are just some of the comments. And for the most part, like, they're great. There's a ton of comments on my long form posts. This one makes me laugh always. Most y'all post bleep like this. Yes, we must. Okay, the third one is vertical B-roll videos. Okay, so vertical, oh, I don't have my phone, but if this way is horizontal, this way is vertical. I always have to share that because I think it's hard for everyone to always remember which one is which way. So vertical, like a TikTok, not a YouTube video. Cool? All right. This is my vertical B-roll library. Drop aha in the chat if you're like, wait, what? These are just filmed on my iPhone. Drop a yes in the chat if you're like, dude, I'm seeing what's missing, what I need. So we literally pull out a camera and film anytime we're in a new place, interesting place, there's a great angle, or when my hair looks good. Sometimes we even record when I have no makeup on and my hair doesn't look good and it's just quick up in a clip. Who's getting the aha? You build a library fast. And just for context, 30, you can use, by the way, you can use any mobile phone you have for this. So we just put them all into one place in my Google Drive. Everything is in my Google Drive. That's where my libraries, my vaults, and everything are. We do about, it takes about 90 minutes for 90 days worth of B-roll, unless I move really fast. Drop a yes in the chat if you're like, wait, what? 90 days of B-roll content can take less than 90 minutes? That's kind of cool, isn't it? So these videos, I don't say anything. They're 10 to 15 seconds. It's just filming something. If this is the main camera, okay, this is A roll. In films, if there's a secondary camera getting an angle of kind of like secondary action or a side shot, that's B-roll. So I don't talk, I don't present anything, and these become building blocks that I can use in my batching process. Who's getting the aha right here? Beautiful. I love that. So vertical B-roll videos can be used for reels, shorts, TikToks. They do well on LinkedIn video, stories, all of the above. And check it out. I film B-roll just kind of any day or time. This day I was cranky. And so I was like, you know, I'm cranky. I still want to get the B-roll done. Can you please film me just sitting down and venting? And Paul did, and it ended up being a top performing in terms of views, but especially lead gen video. Pretty cool, right? Drop aha in the chat if you're seeing how this is working out. So you don't have to know what the text is going to be on the B-roll videos. You just need to film the B-roll videos. Oh my goodness. Then they are universal building blocks. The fourth is candid photos. And because we usually do anywhere from 5 to 15 carousels a day while we're in high test mode, high volume test mode, we've been able to test a lot of candid photos versus professional to see like what really truly performs the best at scale. Candid photos win. Drop yay in the chat if you are thrilled about this. This just means photos you take on your iPhone, photos you take throughout your day-to-day. It's not the perfectly photoshopped, the perfectly polished or posed or dressed or airbrushed face and professional hair. You don't have to do any of that. Candid photos work just fine. Cool. This is my candid photos folder. This is literally just an entire library of all of my candid photos. And these are what we use for my marketing every single day. Who's getting the aha right here? Amazing. When I have a post about something that's sad, I don't cry on command. I grab a photo from when I was crying. Easy, right? I also sometimes joke that this would be the chief evidence if someone was ever like, I'm going to take Rachel to court because I think she's a narcissist. I'd be like, I'll just hand you the evidence. There are thousands of photos that I've taken of myself. Okay, so candid photos, those can be used in Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts, Instagram posts, carousels. You can use them in videos. You can, as overlays, you can put them in your stories. You can literally create all of this content that we've just even so far talked about in one day. Oh, drop aha in the chat if you're seeing this. Those candid photos can be used with a truth bomb. They can be used with a long form value. They can be used in the backgrounds of different content pieces. Like there's so many ways you can use this. And when you have a bank that grows over time, you no longer stress about like, what am I going to post? How cool is this? All right, check out the candid posts. I love these because they do really well. The reason for this, in my opinion, is because when photos are really, really professional and polished, people sense that there is an angle, that someone's trying to sell them something. Just because most people don't put effort into a professional photo shoot unless they're about to launch something. So when there's candid photos, people are like, I feel like I can trust this more. Drop aha in the chat if you're like, that is so good to know. I don't even have anyone take the photos of me either. I have like a cheap, like $20 Amazon tripod that holds my phone, and then I set up a timer, or I'll just set my phone up against a mug, set up the self timer, and get ready to rock and roll. And I do a bunch of poses that way myself. It's faster when someone else takes the photos, but you can do it yourself. Cool? Cool, cool, cool. Who's having fun? Are you guys having a good time? Should we keep turning up? I say so. Yay. Diane, Irene, Keisha, Courtney, let's do this. Jen, it's so good to see you. Robin, Beth, yay. Okay. When you follow the recipe, success in showing up becomes automatic. Consistency becomes a natural result, not a battle. If you just follow the recipe for the system, okay? Now, what you've been told is you need to make more time for content. You need to make this a priority. Who's heard that? Hire a team or an agency. Just post way more and be everywhere. Who's heard any of these? Drop a yes if you have. Or something where you're like, that's just not doable. I can't spend that kind of time or money on this stuff. You said the name, not me. A few people named names of people. I won't repeat those. But here's the thing. One batching session can create 3 months of content. And this isn't me saying this in like you got to hire a team and rent out a studio. This is me saying you can do that just in any room of your house, right? Isn't that awesome? You can do it with an Android. You can do it with an iPhone. Heck, you can do it with your webcam and crop the photos if that's easier for you or more accessible, or your phone broke. This is literally a system that's set up to work exactly where you're at. This provides more visibility, less stress, which actually results in clients and freedom. Okay? Now we got to talk about this, and this is baseline versus sprinting. Are you guys with me? Whew. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we're going to get real nerdy here for a second. Maslow's hierarchy of needs basically establishes all of the things that, generally speaking, we kind of need as humans to feel safe and comfortable and ready for growth or expansion. I remember when I was a single mom on welfare, and pretty much my whole childhood, it was hard for me sometimes to be super creative or feel good with spontaneous things or problem solving. I didn't feel super inspired. Anyone else resonate with that from some point in your life? And it's because those things come after all of our base needs. Like we need respect from others, of others. We need to have achievement. We need to make sure our basic needs like resources and family and health are taken care of. So whenever people are yelling at struggling business owners, like, you need to get inspired and get creative, I'm like, they literally almost can't. You need to provide them a resource or a way to have those needs be met before creativity and inspiration are unlocked. Drop a yes if you're like, this, it makes so much sense. My best ideas come after I have my 90 days batched and scheduled. Of course, when there isn't pressure, when there isn't shame. This is how you keep the algorithms and platforms obsessed with you, as well as the people who see your content. There's this phenomenon called the mere exposure effect. This is a part of psychology and human behavioral science. The mere exposure effect is this idea that the more we see something or someone, the more fond we grow of it. Meaning someone might see my first video and be like, that girl is the most annoying person I've ever seen in my life. And they do. But 5 videos in or 10 videos in, they might be like, I started out hating her, but I kind of like her now. Drop a yes if you've ever done that, by the way. You started to like someone after you didn't like them, just because you saw more of them. You're like, actually, they're not so bad. That's the mere exposure effect happening. So when your content is just consistently creating a baseline for you, the platforms love you because you've proven you're consistent. The algorithms are primed for your best ideas later on. And people have seen you, your face, and your content before. Drop an aha in the chat if this is clicking. This isn't always the stuff that's going to go viral. This is baseline. Baseline sets you up to succeed. Isn't that so exciting? I love it. So baseline is just one post per day. Drop an aha in the chat. One post per day, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty steps too and everything. A sprint is baseline plus more. So like my business, we're in a sprint right now. I love sprints. I think they're really fun, but I feel better about sprints once the baseline is already locked down. So a sprint can be a week long for a launch. A sprint can be a time when you're really inspired. A sprint can be so many different things, but you're not always sprinting because you'll get really tired. Okay. I'm going to share the baseline steps today. Sprints are up to you, and that's where you craft the viral content and craft the content that's next level that gets conversions. This is about being consistent with a baseline. Do you guys hear me loud and clear on that? Drop a yes if you're excited. Amazing. All right. So feel free to take pictures, screenshots, any of the above, because we're going to move fast. It's one post per day per platform of focus. A lot of times when I share this with people, they'll say like, oh, well, Rachel, I'm going to pick these 5 platforms as my platform of focus. And I'm like, slow down, buddy. That's like saying, I want to have a kid, so I'm going to have 5. Don't do that to yourself. That's exhausting. Start with 1, maybe 2. If you're advanced, 3. If you all commit to that, don't drown yourself on the baseline for consistency. Just layer it. You can always layer another platform or more content into your baseline. Y'all agree? All right, step 1, pick out your 1 to 3 platforms of focus. I recommend 1 for most people. 2, if you're like, I want to push myself here and I'm ready for it. And 3, if you're advanced. Step 2 is you're going to pick out 5 to 10 outfits. Here's a big tip. I like to just wear the same pants and just quick change my tops and then like throw my hair up like this or something so that there's just a slightly different look in each one, or I'll change my glasses or whatever. Step 3 is compile those 90 batching blocks. That's 90 B-roll videos, which you can do in less than 90 minutes. You can actually do it much, much, much faster. 90 candid photos, compile 90 truth bombs, and 10 long form value posts. Step 4 is you assemble them. And step 5 is you schedule them. Should we keep going? Who's excited? And drop aha in the chat if this clicks for you. You're like, I actually get this. I actually get this. I don't have to know how I'm going to use all of this yet. I'm just assembling the ingredients to follow the recipe. It's pretty cool. All right, the right content system makes you look like you have a team, even when it's just you in your sweats on your couch. Drop aha in the chat. This one's big because for years I have been the only person doing my content. Paul supports me with baseline content, but I don't even bring in a massive team for my content. Isn't that exciting? All right, you've tried all the stuff before. Drop a yes if this is you. You're like, I've tried systems, I've tried so-and-so's advice, so-and-so's method, all of the above. You guys know what I'm talking about, all the stuff out there. You've tried content planners and calendars and prompt packs and templates and still nothing. You're still stuck, right? Because those systems may have given you what to post or templates, but not how to use it all from A to Z in a way that actually works for you. Yes, those weren't set up as systems. You don't need another pack of prompts. You need a flywheel, a machine, a flywheel machine. Yes. Flywheels and machines are not accidental. This might seem advanced, and I'll show you what a flywheel looks like in a moment. This might seem advanced, but it's actually super simplified. Do you trust me? They follow intentional prep systems, okay? So number one, you plan and you're prepping. You guys, what we're doing today is planning. I just told you exactly what to create in your 1 day of batching. Oh, so now it's time for prep. Get your outfits ready, get your iPhone ready. You don't have to do it right now. Step 2 is you compile any assets that you may already have. Sometimes you'd be surprised when you look through your phone or your Google Drive how many long form value content pieces you have in pre-existing emails and blogs, and maybe even some posts or lead magnets. Or maybe you have a ton of photos of yourself from a couple of years ago. Drop a yes if you're like, oh dang, I didn't even realize this. This is literally just a quick 1 hour process. So I do this, and I usually find photos and value and content and B-roll videos. Then you're going to assemble the pieces together and schedule out your 90-day baseline. That is step 3. Cool? Yes. Amazing. Step 4, enjoy the balance, content shame, and stress gone. And step 5, you actually finally feel inspired to create more. Drop aha in the chat if this makes sense for you. I was really big as I was like searching for the right systems 3 years ago. I was really big into wanting something that worked with my brain that made sense. And this was the first time that something really and truly did. Because what I discovered is that when my baseline content is taken care of, more ideas come to me and I post them more often, because there's not all of those layers of shame and guilt and panic and crickets, because the platforms are already warmed up. Drop aha in the chat if this is for you. You're like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. Is this explaining a lot of the things you've like gone through in this process of figuring out like, how do I stay consistent with content? I'm gonna tell you exactly what I use. Cool. So here's the exact flywheel and system we use. So I start with outfit number 1 and take 18 pictures. I can time them on my iPhone. Once again, I'll like balance it against something heavy, just set it up so I can see myself in the phone, do a quick self timer, take 18 videos. Those are going to be 10 to 15 seconds each. Who's relieved that it's only 10 to 15 seconds? I'll assume you're saying yes, but you're also taking notes. B-roll style. All right, then you repeat that for outfits 2 through 5. Fantastic, right? I love it. Okay, next up, there we go. You review your past emails and posts for long form value or quotes that you're proud of, or even just quotes that are basic. None of my quotes are extremely prolific. In fact, the more prolific I try to be, the worse they seem to perform. So when it's like basic common sense, that's when it performs. How cool is that? All right. Here is optional. You can use Otter AI to actually transcribe your past audio from podcasts or just thoughts or speeches from your videos, your interviews, your trainings that you've done, your anything that you've recorded your voice on. You can get a base for your long form content and use ChatGPT to clean it up. Drop an aha in the chat. I'll put this up for 1 second. Drop an aha in the chat if this is big for you, because you're like, oh, I might have hidden archives of gold just waiting. Even if there's some quotes you didn't realize exist already. Isn't that cool? Beautiful. Okay. So then you're going to compile from past materials, or you can write these from scratch, 90 truth bombs that are just 1 to 2 sentences each. I love seeing how much you guys have gold in your like archives and drive and stuff. Okay, then you're gonna scroll through reels. I don't have my phone with me. Let me go grab it real fast. That's how you know this is live. Okay, so On my phone, what I'm gonna do, and I batched this process too. This is really important, okay? So I batched the process of you getting Reels audio because I don't like doing everything for every meal every day. Do you catch my drift? I don't like going to the grocery store for every single meal. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna scroll through Reels and be like, oh, I like this one. And then I'm gonna click on the sound in the bottom right hand corner and save it. Cool, I got one. Let's see, I like this one. Cool, I'm gonna click the sound and save it. And I'm just gonna repeat that process till I have 90 sounds ready. So then there's no excuse. I've got sounds that I've already pre-approved that I like. Drop aha in the chat if you're like, duh, I love this. I didn't realize I could batch planning the sounds. You got it. I love it. Then you are going to pick 3 to 9 hashtags if you're under 100,000 subscribers. If you're over 100,000 subscribers, I tend to find, Kayla asked that question at the end, because that's one that I want to talk about. If you're over 100,000 followers or subscribers on any channel, I find that hashtags don't necessarily help and sometimes can not even almost like make things worse. So if you have under 100,000 subscribers or followers, do this process, okay? So 1 to 3 hashtags for who you want to help. This training, hashtag business owners. 1 to 3 hashtags for the pain point. Hashtag content burnout. 1 to 3 hashtags for how you help them or the mechanism. Hashtag content strategy. Drop a yes in the chat if you love this method. Marcy, yeah, you can change your 90 sounds every quarter just based on what you're liking then. Isn't that cool? Okay, who's getting excited? Isn't this actually so fun? Here's the exact flywheel and system we use. Let's keep going. Schedule the 90 truth bombs as is. Once you're happy with like how it all looks, share those on LinkedIn. They do really, really well as standalones for a lot of people there. Threads is where I have the greatest success, and your Facebook page. That's where you can schedule all of those. There are other places as well, but those are some really natural ones. I like Metricool for free / cheap and easy scheduling. Metricool is free for up to 50 total posts per month. If you need more than that and all of that, this right here gets you, I think, like a discount. I think it's like 20% off for life. I'm not an affiliate. I don't make any money from this, but for Metricool, if you use code Rachel, you get 20% off. I'm pretty sure is this the number forever, because they were actually one of my high touch clients, which is really fun. So I was in charge of bringing them to the US and it worked really, really well. Okay. This is optional. You can bulk create the 90 truth bombs into quote cards like you saw how mine looked. Straight up, you can use these on Instagram, LinkedIn, Threads, Facebook page. What I mean by that is if you take the time to just get those 90 truth bombs, which doesn't take as long as you would think, you can instantly double that into 180 pieces of content by turning each and every one of those truth bombs into a quote card that you can use on multiple platforms. Drop an aha in the chat if this is for you and you're like, oh dang. I love fast, I love simple, I love leveraged, I love consistent systems that work. I like smart. So this one is so fantastic. And this is exactly how you do it. So you use bulk create inside of Canva. I literally created a few different designs for quotes, and then I just take sections of my truth bombs list, and then I upload them as a CSV like this. And instantly, once you follow the bulk create process, Canva pumps out 90 branded quote cards. Once again, I'll allow some applause in the chat. Who here says this is a game changer and so helpful? 90 pieces of content becomes 180, and you can use all 180 of that every single quarter if you want. What? People don't remember things for 3 months. Please write that one down. People don't remember things for 3 months. And most people grow and change over time, which means that the same message might have a different meaning 3 months later. Okay, beautiful. Diane asked that question at the end for the Q&A. All right, so you're gonna combine the long form value with the candid photos like I do and schedule it on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and any platform you want. You don't have to change it for the different platforms. Cool? You're gonna combine the vertical B-roll clips with the truth bombs and the music saved in Reels. You can add a truth bomb or a long form value post as the caption. Who's already loving these formulas for how to maximize all this content for the next 90 days? Who's actually feeling like hope and excitement about this? Because I know I do. Okay, let's keep on going. So here we go. Then you're going to add the 3 to 9 hashtags if you're under 100,000 followers, and save as a draft if you want to, or you can publish it and then like download it using a downloading app to schedule it in more places. So you can schedule it on multiple platforms. It depends on how you create. The easiest way to create is inside of Instagram, but you can use a different place to put together your B-roll video plus the truth bomb, okay? All right, you guys ready? Let's keep going. With this process, who here says I can actually see how all my visibility would be handled for a quarter? Drop a yes if you're like, this actually feels doable. This feels like it flips everything on its head. Thoughts? What do you guys think? It's kind of cool, isn't it? This is what I use and it's amazing, okay? I don't even try to go viral until inspiration hits. Then I layer that on top of my baseline and the platforms love me, the algorithms love me, and the people are already warmed up to me. Drop a ha in the chat if this makes so much sense. Yes, content is easier for me because of this system. So no more what do I post panic. It's already posted. No more ghosting your audience. No more burnout disguised as strategy. Yes, please. So let's talk about what happens next. This picks up momentum each quarter in the best way. Once per quarter, you review your analytics in depth. I recommend like an hour max on analytics for this, unless you want to go even deeper and know what you're looking for. Metricool is fantastic also for their analytics. We do a lot there. Notice the trends, like what's performing best, what's performing better than your baseline. Notice if anything took off. Notice the topics behind it. Notice if there was something you did that was different in that particular video or photo. It's just fun to kind of see the patterns over time and then create more like that, more truth bombs like that, more B-roll style videos like that. So if anything takes off, that's an indication we can feed more of that to the platform's algorithms and people. Drop a ha in the chat if you're like, this is actually a gorgeous flywheel. This makes so much sense. So then you can repeat all of that content for the 90 days after, and you can layer more on top of it in way less time. So you never again have that full 1 day of creating content because a baseline you can use forever when it's evergreen. Cool? I do this, by the way, something that I love doing to keep it really easy. This is my personal system, is I just post every thought, or if I see that something took off, I'm like, I'll post more like this. I just post them on threads throughout the day. Sometimes I'll post as many as 16 things on threads because I'm just posting what's working. And then I grab my favorite ones from there and add them to the next 90 days. Drop a ha in the chat if you're like, this makes sense. I just compiled those, by the way. Here, let me scroll down a little. There we go. I compile those once per week and then I add them to my batching blocks. So my batching blocks, my libraries, everything, it gets more and more in depth. You can repost the exact same content the next quarter as long as it's not like time sensitive stuff. So baseline content doesn't do like the launches or the time sensitive. It's just baseline. Cool? And then I keep watching my archives and my libraries get bigger. So I like that. I'm a huge fan of that. So before, do you guys actually see how this is possible? Before, it's scrambling, feeling behind, inconsistent visibility, content dread. After, batched and scheduled, confident and consistent, strategic, steady growth, balanced calendar, and peace of mind. Drop aha in the chat if you're already seeing how this whole system works way better. It's so much easier. Now keep in mind, this doesn't have to be all that you create. You can always add more, but you don't have to every day. That's the difference. I love this so much. Okay, so real fast, especially for those of you who are new to me, I did create a massive shortcut for the whole system. Is it okay if I make an offer as long as I don't do high pressure or make you feel bad? Are you guys cool if I quick share the entire system that I did for you that's a shortcut? Okay. So if I handed you the exact system and tools I use to batch 3 months of content in a single day, even faster. So every single shortcut that I love that. Diane says, I expect you to please as a fellow marketer. I love that. If I gave you every single shortcut I have, my systems, my tools, my prompts, my every single thing, who here feels like you absolutely would be able to have 90 days of content batched? ASAP. I see Kayla's hand. Meg, you're so great. Courtney, Fraser, Sue, Lisa, I love this. So I put together, I call it the 24-hour content machine. So what this means is 24 hours is all it takes, actually it's less, to create a content machine that is putting out content every single day. 24 hours are covered for the next 3 months, and then the 3 months after that, and then the 3 months after that. So this is a plug and play content system that gets your visibility done in one fast and focused day so you don't have to think about it again for 3 months. So here's what is inside my step-by-step batching system. That's literally a walkthrough of every single step as well as a guide. What to post when is inside of there, how to schedule it, all of that. The 1-day map, this literally maps everything out for you hour by hour. Drop a yes, by the way, if you're like, this would be pretty cool. And the cool thing is there's 3 modes. So there's like when you're brand new or this is your first time doing something like this, there's a 3-hour version. There's a map for the 6-hour version if you're like, it's time for us to kind of like go all in. And if you're advanced, there's a 10-hour version that creates a lot of content. Cool. That also includes the reels. Carousels weren't a focus of this, but my top performing and highest performing reels, carousels, and caption templates. Who here is already knowing that you want this? Isn't this kind of fun? Plug and post, hook, and copy kit. So this includes your captions, the formulas for captions. I made a Mad Lib style too for my, I think it's my 10 favorite captions frameworks. So you can literally just plug in your details and have a copywritten work of art caption for anything. Okay. And my entire batching block system, plus my pre-batching setup guide to set yourself up for success. And I decided to add 3 gorgeous bonuses. So bonus number 1 is a viral hook bank. And that is 100 plus plug and play, copy and paste scroll stopping openers. This one I have never released to the public before, okay? Number 2 is the low energy week backup plan. So let's say, is this anyone, by the way, you're like, I want to do this, but I'm really busy for the next week or 2. Anyone feel that in your soul? You're like, I want to do this, but that's what bonus number 2 is all about. So bonus number 2 is how to cover the next couple of days or weeks with content without taking a lot of energy until you're ready to actually do this entire system. Oh, it's kind of exciting. And bonus number 3 is my domino content system vault. So how I take one idea and then multiply it into 36 for all the different batching blocks. Drop an aha if you're like, this is already kind of exciting. This is so fun. Total value, you are, as a good marketer, you're supposed to attach a price to that. However, I'm just gonna be honest, you guys, the time saved is the most important thing. This saves you time, it saves you energy, and truth be told, it allows you to reach more people more consistently and feel really, really good about the content creation for your business. So I put all of this together for just $57. That includes the bonuses. Should we go even, do you guys want even another bonus? Do you guys want to even go further? Who's already in? Who's gonna be in? Who's excited about this? So I didn't even tell my team about this yesterday. So I also scheduled a laser coaching and Q&A call for next week. You can submit questions, you can show up live. There will be a replay of that for members of 24-hour content machine, because I want to answer all your questions live. I want to sit and just have a full hour to dive into every single thing. So we'll be sending out the details for that for those of you who join. Cool. Now you have 2 choices, and guess what? Neither one is wrong. I want to be clear about that. Sometimes marketers will shame you here. I'm not going to. You can try to do this all on your own. You totally can. Or you can spend one day with this system with all my shortcuts and have all of your content handled. So it's instant access, no guesswork, no burnout, and it's just $57 for everything. Alicia asked that question just in a moment when we go into Q&A. Do you guys want to see a quick sneak peek of this machine? Because it's kind of cool. I'll show you this and then we'll go into some Q&A until I get sleepy and I'll need another coffee. So feel free to start asking your questions in the chat, not in the Q&A. Oh, there's no Q&A box, in the chat. And then I'll answer questions in just a moment. So let me get this pulled up for you guys because it's so cool. All right, here we go. I'm going to show you how simple this is to follow. There we go. Okay, so one thing I did that was different, than a lot of the other ways that I've seen systems that I didn't particularly love present everything, is I wanted it to be in a manual and map. What that means is it sets you up in order. So it's going to set you up in order of the step-by-step flow, and every single asset is listed in here. So it's pretty fantastic. Every single training is in here. There's a one-day batching blocks map. This literally lines out your entire schedule for the entire day, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to guess what should I be doing. There's also the truth bomb extraction SOP. That one is baller because you can actually use your transcripts, your threads, your emails, your lead magnets, your content bank, your books, even just recordings of you rambling for 20 minutes about your business and what you do and the value you provide, any of that. It extracts truth bombs from that for you. So it's pretty fantastic. So I have everything lined up in order of how to implement it, scheduled out with all of the things that make everything easier, which I just thought was kind of cool. What do you guys think? Who's excited? Who's in? Who's gonna join me next week in the coaching call? We're gonna have fun. Okay, so let me go ahead and jump on in to questions. This is brand new, Casey. Oh, and hi, by the way. So this one's brand new. I don't even think you'll recognize a single thing. There might only be one thing that was pulled from a best performing tutorial, and that was how to do B-roll for Instagram, because I nailed it last time. Everything else is brand new. So I created 100% of this. You guys are literally gonna be the first ones to be in this. Yesterday's people were the first. You guys are the second wave of the first. That's gonna be so fun. Jen's in, amazing Susan, Robin's in. You guys, we're gonna have so much fun with this. Okay, so I'm gonna drop this here and then let's go into questions. So let me scroll up real fast. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Is there going to be a replay? Yes, for sure. We'll send that out probably in just a few hours or first thing in the morning at the latest. Okay. Des, thank you. Des said, I'm the best teacher. That's so kind. Did you guys feel like you already learned a lot? Like who here already has notes and things that you can implement even before jumping into the 24-hour content machine? Because that's exciting. And who here has at least one action step that they can implement? I love it. I love that. Okay, Danielle says, how can you use this for an Etsy shop that offers pet gifts and gifts for their owners? So what you need to go into for baseline content is what is the constant? Meaning the gifts might change and you can always showcase a gift as like one of your things on top of your baseline. But if you offer pet gifts and gifts for their owners, it's probably going to be stuff about the love of a pet and how much people love their pets and pet stories and quotes and tips and all of that. And then anything else can be layered. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. We'll email out the replay too, just so you guys know. Lisa said mind blown. I love that. Cassie, you guys are so sweet today. You seriously over deliver in everything you do. Thank you. Okay, Robin said, great value. I love this. Alicia said, when my laptop died when you mentioned Otter AI, what do you transcribe? I transcribe my YouTube videos. It has to be things with my spoken like audio or you know what I mean? My podcast episodes, portions of interviews. I do edit out the other person's talking. So I do less interviews because I hate editing videos. I also do trainings and sometimes coaching calls if I'm the one talking. I will transcribe sometimes. I'll pull out my voice memo and go on a walk through the neighborhood and rant about value or something or just a topic in my industry. And then I'll upload that to Otter AI and transcribe it just to get some really good meat and potatoes for these. I sounded so Minnesotan there. Laura, is this good for a realtor? Yes, because this pulls off the pressure for the in-betweens of houses. And this is the type of content that can perform actually better than listing individual houses. That would go on top of this. So I would do things like value for buyers, sellers, homeowners, and things about like the sentiments of buying a home or tips for making a home feel like a home. Beige asks, nope. So one thing that is kind of cool is if you are inside of, I have two programs that are a little more advanced and hands-on. One is quite a bit more. The next one's like leaps and bounds, even more so. So the Social Click is my annual membership for mentorship, and Click members do get access to most of my products as they come out, which is kind of a fun perk. So just good to know. And then the Content Syndicate is my super high touch mastermind for people who want me to come in and actually just like support with most of the structures for this. They also obviously get this, but they don't need it, which is fun. So, all right, let's see what else. Any tips for kitchen remodeling business? Yeah, follow this system. And talk a lot about just every single part of a kitchen remodel. And when you share like tips and value and things about like the feeling of a well-designed and remodeled kitchen, I think that's going to do really well because I like interacting with stuff like that. You can even get fun or cheeky. Like for example, a quote can be, there are two types of people. One type of person has the circle drawer pulls. Okay, so stick with me because I'm coming up with this on the fly. One person has the circle drawer pulls that always get hooked on your sweatpants pocket, and the other has great style with, and then you put in something else. So you can share a whole bunch of stuff. You can get fun, you can get sassy, you can get tips, etc. Can this be used on Pinterest to advertise print on demand products sold on Etsy? This can. One thing I recommend is connecting your Instagram to your Pinterest so that every single thing you create on Instagram leads to your Pinterest, or sorry, every single thing that you create on Instagram is automatically promoted and published on your Pinterest, and it leads back to your Instagram. So I would still promote the individual products, but this would be the baseline underneath it all. Yep. Is this good for the pet industry? That's so funny, Lydia. So yesterday we had someone who asked the same thing about dachshunds and what was it? And schnauzers, I think. Or that's not, yeah, that wasn't you. I would have remembered your name. But yes, I would specifically talk about mini dachshunds because their owners are wonderfully like cultish in a fun way. What I love though is like you can share quotes about dachshunds and you can make it feel like it's a really like it's a part of an identity with your baseline content. So I love this. Love this, love this. So good, so good. The link is not working for me. Is this link not working for anybody else? I'll send it one more time, but it should be working. Actually, let me test it. Looks like the link is working. Yep, I'll send it one more time just clearly here. Does it matter if your truth bombs aren't specific to your niche? Some of them aren't. So as long as it's like adjacent or related to who you are, you'd be surprised by how much of my content performs really, really well and brings in a new audience when I'm talking about parenting or married life or being a woman in my 30s, you know? Oh, that was you. Amazing. Yeah, you'll have to, there we go. It's all set to click. You can just click it. I think that should work. And if it doesn't work, feel free to send me your email and I'll make sure my team follows up to get you what you need. So if you send it, only I can see it, which is perfect. Okay, let me keep going through questions. These are so good. I know you're a gamer. Yes, I am, but I'm like in the nerdiest way, which is kind of funny. So, it's like Harvest Moon and Mario Kart and stuff like that. Oh my gosh. So I think that there's a huge set of baseline content that would perform here. I feel like truth bombs would crush it for gaming content. Yeah. What about a holistic life coaching business? For sure. I've used it for a holistic life coaching business. It worked really, really well. Hi, Rachel. Any tips for a stove and fireplace shop? Oh, so one thing that I would do, because stoves and fireplaces aren't things that people impulse purchase, I would do the baseline, but then I would really and truly focus like the intentional effort on PPC. So this is a different thing. Instead of sprinting with content beyond the baseline, I would do Google ads, which are more intent based. So people aren't impulse purchasing a stove, they're researching it, they're thinking about it, etc. These are such good questions, you guys. Let's check it. So let's see. Tips for one person doing all the content for one business. I did this by myself for a long time. I just brought Paul in this last month when I wanted to test out my sprint that goes to 120 pieces of content per day. This system allows you to actually create content, be consistent, all of the above. Okay, these are such good questions. So Laura, do you want to send me your email? I'll make sure my team gives it to you. Fastest way to write captions. The fastest way is with my formulas and frameworks for captions. Those can create 10 captions in literally less than 5 minutes. They're so fast. The second fastest way to write it and still sound like yourself is to actually sit down and just like craft the caption. Follow the concept of like hook, value, or story, and then CTA plus hashtags. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, shall we call it? Drop a yes in the chat if you got some value today. And who's going to join me inside of 24-hour content machine? We're going to have some fun. I'm a shy type person. Can I still use these methods? Yes, you can. And so I'm actually introverted with like the ability to perform as though I'm extroverted. And I need lots of quiet time, alone time. I'm actually very reserved in my real life. So I created this system to work with having discovered I was an introvert. And so it creates the baseline so I don't experience those feelings of like fighting being shy every single day. So, all right, you guys. Anything else? Otherwise, we'll call it for today. Oh, Content Creation Secrets is a book. So this book breaks down the psychology, the discoveries, the research behind content creation. This is a digital book. And then I'm actually almost finished with narrating the audiobook, and then as soon as it's ready we will send it out to you guys. So it's an audiobook where of course I'm going to go off script and share new stories and things like that, but it's just a chance to really like immerse yourself in the understanding of where did these things come from, what was the research or the background or the psychological mechanisms. It's gonna be really nerdy but explained in a really fun way. So if you like that stuff and kind of like having an in on understanding like, oh, this isn't new in the marketing world, this has been in the psychology world for 60 plus years, and here's why this works and here's how we can use it. That's who Content Creation Secrets is going to be best for. So that one is an ebook and then also an audio book, which I'm so excited about. All right, go have an amazing Friday and start to the weekend, you all. I will see you so soon. Bye for now, everyone. Oh, I'll drop the link one last time for anyone who's like, oh, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's have some fun. And I will see some of you guys next week. You should get an email with the details of your 24-hour content machine, as well as the laser coaching call for next week and what to do to submit questions if you can't make it to the call live. So, all right, I'll see you all soon. Bye.